Hey friends, I didn't have a lot of time to film this at a beautiful location here in Santa Barbara, so hopefully my humble automobile will serve its purpose for you guys. Hope everyone is well. I want to talk to you today about something that we all grapple with when our brain creates story around whatever situation we perceive to be difficult. And I started thinking about my childhood, and there was this movie called Star Trek's Wrath of Khan. And I'm no Trekkie by any space of the imagination. I love science fiction, but I'm not a big Star Trek fan. But I love the mythology that's around Star Trek and Captain Kirk. And the mythology around Captain Kirk is that every Starfleet commander in this fictional science fiction saga of Star Trek has to pass this Starfleet exam, which no one passes. No Starfleet commander really passes. It's called the Kobayashi Muru, and Captain Kirk was his claim to fame in Star Trek was that he was the only Starfleet captain, as far as I understand, I could be wrong, that passes this impossible exam. And basically the Kobayashi Muru, if I'm pronouncing it correctly, is an exam where it puts the Starfleet commander in a hopeless situation. Like if the Enterprise is on fire and it's going to crash and burn anyways. And so the Starfleet commander has to figure out how to get and save the lives of everyone on board and get the ship out of an impossible situation. And what does Captain Kirk do? Well, he cheats on the exam. He figures out how to go around, and he figures out how to get into the computer and cheat on the exam, and he ends up passing the Kobayashi Muru. But the interesting thing is about that, which is not about the cheating on the exam and going around and doing things kind of around the way and maybe morally and ethically not the right way to do things, was that Captain Kirk saw the foolishness in the exam. He saw how the Kobayashi Muru was a great metaphor for human beings' tendency to catastrophize and to overthink and to think of doom and gloom scenarios, even when everything around us outside of us is doom and gloom. And he saw that it was all made up. And his thinking around the Kobayashi Muru initially was that, I'm not going to be able to pass this exam. It's impossible. I'm going to fail like everybody else. There's no solution. But then he had this insight to cheat on the exam, which was his wisdom, whether you agree with it or not, or whether we agree with it or not, in this fictional world of Star Trek. But there are a lot of metaphors you can link to your own life, that we are all making it up. And our brains are attaching all this story to what's going on outside of us. Another great example of this the Kobayashi Muru scenario in real life was Viktor Frankl's world of Auschwitz, where his world seemed impossible. His world of Auschwitz seemed of death and destruction, that every minute, every hour, every day could be his last day. But he found meaning and found something to live, to survive and to live by, and to stay alive one more day by seeing his own Kobayashi Muru in Viktor Frankl's Auschwitz as I can find meaning in every minute. I can find something to stay alive with in every minute. I can still forgive the SS Eisengrab, these murderous SS hooligans that were running the camp, that were killing and murdering murdering prisoners. That he could still find meaning in every moment. And that's and ultimately why Frankl survived, is that he saw his thinking is made up, even though it was in horrible circumstances, even though that's a very extreme example of a terrible external situation, being a Holocaust survivor, or Captain Kirk's situation in that fictional Kobayashi Muru, is that it was all made up. His thinking around it was all made up, and his wisdom came through, which is, I'm going to cheat on it because there is no impossible situations. When it feels too impossible, we need to pull back, take a step back, and see that perhaps our thinking is getting in the way of finding solutions. even the most difficult situations, that there's always a workaround with the Kobayashi Muru in real life. Hope this has been helpful. Have a great week, everybody.